Ignition. Liftoff.
Coming to you live from the White Picket Studios in Houston, Texas. This is the Realty Ruckus. If you are in any way, shape, or form involved in the real estate industry, this is the show for you. And now, your host, Alan Hernandez.
Good morning, Houston. What's going on out there? It's a pleasure to be with you guys today. And we have one heck of a show planned out for you guys. We're pretty excited today. We are going to talk about a bunch of really cool stuff that you should probably stop doing to keep your houses from selling. And then we got some games planned out. We're going to have some awesome events happening over the weekend. We have some stuff happening today as well. We got a lot of really good stuff. But before we get to all the cool stuff,
let's talk about the NBA.
Yeah, why not? I mean, seriously, Curry thought he had it made, in my opinion.
I mean, no team has ever come back from 3-1. So that's a huge deal. And I think that we got to see a lot of the true personality of Stephen Curry in this one.
Yeah, because he always plays like the good boy. Like, he's always like in a really good mood, and he's
exactly.
You know, you would think that he wouldn't ever get angry, and then he actually gets pushed to the edge on this thing.
Oh yeah, his frustration was just at a maximum. It was pretty bad. But I mean, you got to hand it to LeBron James. He crushed it.
He did.
Like, the guy scored 41 points in 2 consecutive games and just took over the finals. That last game, he took over.
There's a block on Game 7 that I think is legendary.
Yep.
Did you see that one?
Yeah.
Where he stops it right at the board.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's LeBron James' signature right there. The block at the block on the backboard.
I love it. If you guys haven't gone on YouTube lately, if you do spend some time going on there, go on there and type Stephen Curry Titanic. Isn't that the name of the video? You guys have to check out this video. It's hilarious. It's Curry in the front, and then Thompson standing right behind him on top of the Titanic, right? And they're like cruising through there, you know, like right out of the movie with their arms out and the wind blazing at them, you know? Now all of a sudden there's this huge head, and it's LeBron James, and it pops out of the
iceberg.
Yeah, he's like the iceberg, right? At the end of the whole thing, it ends with Curry drowning. He's going into the water, and Curry's like, "I'll never forget you." It's hilarious, man. I love that movie. That thing's got to have at least 1 million views by now, so you guys got to look that thing up. So we couldn't believe how awesome that game was. But then on top of that, now today we have USA playing. So man, that's
USA plays today. But going back to the finals, I mean, it's been 50 years since Cleveland had won anything. I mean, anything. They were just a losing city. I got something.
And that was everything LeBron wanted.
Yeah, I got something real special, okay?
Yes.
So this is how bad Cleveland had gotten. This is a tourism video.
Can our viewers see this thing, or can they hear it at least?
Viewers on YouTube will be able to see it.
Okay. So if you guys are on YouTube Live, you'll be able to see this video we're about to play. If you're on Facebook Live, you can at least hear the music, which that's really the best part.
Pretty funny.
Yeah. So check this out, guys. Check this out. You ready? YouTube is not cooperating with me.
Of course, it would happen exactly as we wanted to play.
It played perfectly a minute ago, and then as soon as you want it, it stops.
Well,
okay, let me get the audio at least so that people can hear.
The whole thing behind this is what did winning the NBA championship actually do for Cleveland?
Not much, man, but it's an emotional win, you know. I got the audio here. You ready?
You got it? Let's see if we can get to play.
No, we'll try to get on the way back.
All right. That's fine. So you know, this is a city that is completely depressed, that doesn't really have much of an economy anymore. And in this song, you guys will get a chance to hear that the economy pretty much runs on LeBron James. He is the economy. Is that it? You getting it set up?
Yeah, you got it.
All right.
Ready?
Let me know. I want to hear this thing.
Cleveland today, Cleveland. Come on down to Cleveland town, everyone. Come and look at both of our buildings. Buy some food that's prepared near the street. Who knows, you might even see this guy. You should come on down to West 6th Street. It's the perfect place if you're a douchebag. Watch some people all wait for buses. Who the fuck still uses a payphone? Here's the place where there used to be industry. This train is carrying jobs out of Cleveland. Cleveland leads the nation in drifters. Here's a statue of Moses Cleveland. He's the guy who invented Cleveland. Yeah!
So that's one of them.
Oh,
That's
poor
just so you guys get an idea. That's just one of them.
So how do people find this video? Because there's a couple of them that are really, really good, and all they talk about is how amazing Cleveland is.
So check it out. This is the other one. This is the one you're talking about. I
Okay.
think.
Fun times in Cleveland again. Still Cleveland. Come on down to Cleveland town, everyone. Under construction since 1868. See our river that catches on fire. It's so polluted that all our fish have AIDS. See the sun almost 3 times a year. This guy has at least 2 DUIs. Flats look like a Scooby-Doo ghost town. Don't slow down in East Cleveland or you'll die. Our economy's based on LeBron James.
There it is.
Buy a house for the price of a VCR. Our main export is crippling depression. We're so retarded that we think this is art. It could be worse though, at least we're not Detroit. We're not Detroit.
That's got the best ending.
Oh man. So
Does it
this
say
is a
that
big deal for the city of Cleveland.
Does it
All
say
right.
because their whole fish are polluted, they all have
All their
AIDS?
fish have AIDS. Yeah. Their rivers.
And you
are
can buy a house for the
self-polluted.
price of a DVR?
Of a VCR. Buy a house for the price of a VCR.
That's even worse.
Guys, so we have a really good show planned. We're coming back in a little bit, and we're going to be talking about a market update with HAR. They released their market update today, I
Yeah,
believe.
if you guys haven't checked out what's happening in the market, we want to give you guys an idea on some of the major changes we have. For example, just in one section, there's a 20% change in the market. That's huge. We want to tell you guys what that is. We want to give you guys an idea on what you need to be doing out there for your business. We'll be right back.
Absolutely, man. We'll be back after these messages.
Hey everyone, this is David over at White Picket Realty, and I wanted to tell you about my friends over at Plans Express who can save you the headache of running your own permits. These guys are committed to offering a one-stop solution for all your plan and permit needs. They're proudly serving their friends and neighbors in the Houston surrounding areas, and they offer great service and an exceptional value. With dedicated professionals ready to serve, contact them today at 832-675-6217. Hey everyone, this is David with the House Flipping Network, and if you're like a lot of people, you're probably daydreaming right now about getting to fire your boss. Let me tell you about an exciting opportunity for you to do just that. If you've been looking to get into real estate investing or flipping homes, the House Flipping Network provides coaching and consultation services for people looking to grow a real estate investment business. If you're interested in more information, please reach out to me at david@houseflippingnetwork.com.
Hey Houston, this is Alan Hernandez, and I want to remind you guys to visit our friends over at Quest IRA to learn everything there is to learn about investing with your IRA. Now, if you haven't been over there recently, you have to check them out. They have free educational classes, networking opportunities, the ability to tap into $1 billion for your real estate investing deals. These are the guys to know when it comes to learning about this kind of stuff. You want to make sure you visit them and check them out over at www.questira.com. Again, that's questira.com. Hey, Houston real estate agents. This is Alan Hernandez, broker at White Picket Realty. I want to let you know that when you're ready to stop working your real estate career and start building a real estate business, Team WPR is a place to be. Not only do we offer real results, real support, and real branding, but furthermore, 80 to 100% commissions of your hard-earned money going back to you. So make sure you reach out to us. Join at teamwpr.com. Again, that's join, JOIN, at teamwpr.com.
And we are back. We got a little bit of a weather update. David, how's the weather out there?
We're getting a little bit of a break from those 100 triple-digit days.
Thank goodness.
Yeah, thank goodness. It's going to be 89 of a high today. It's going to feel like 95 though, so still pretty hot. Stay nice and cool out there. Alan, I think you had a market update for us?
You know what? It's sad when you say it's going to be 95, so it's not that bad.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's horrible.
Hey, welcome to Houston.
I know.
If we had a promo video like Cleveland, we'd definitely have to talk about the heat.
Good joke. Man, I don't know why I got a black car. Every time I get in that thing, everything steams on that thing during the summer.
Oh man, I bet that's got to be brutal.
I mean, it takes at least like 5 minutes for the whole thing to cool off. But I do want to talk to you guys about market and what it's doing and why these numbers are important. Now, a lot of realtors, a lot of investors out there are just going about their business, right? They're just, buying a house or listing a house or whatever, but they don't actually keep up with these numbers.
Yeah.
And so they turn around and they wonder, why things are happening in their business that they can't understand. So the first thing I want to bring up is the months of inventory. Now, last year, May 2015, the months of inventory were right at 3 points.
And for our listeners and our viewers who don't understand what that is, how would you explain the months of inventory to them?
Well, it's kind of like a rating in terms of demand and supply.
Okay.
All right. So the way that they rate it is if you have about 6 points of inventory, that would be essentially the same as 6 months worth of inventory. Therefore, it would be an even market in terms of how many properties are available versus how many people out there are demanding to buy a property.
Got it. So 6 months is considered the norm. 6
months would be a completely even market in terms of inventory and demand.
Okay.
Right.
Gotcha.
So we're sitting last year at 3 points.
So that's incredibly low.
Meaning there's 3 months worth of inventory on the market. It would take 3 months to sell everything on the market.
Okay. And that's really low.
That's very, very low because generally in the United States altogether, in the consensus, it's been closer to that 6. It's been in like the 5s, the high 4s.
Yeah.
But we've always been here in Houston, right in the like high 2s, low 3s, right? And now for the first time in the last few months, we start seeing a climb. So from last year to this year, we see the first major change at 20% increase, meaning now we have 3.6% months worth of inventory.
Okay, so more houses are on the market then.
That's right. It just means that more houses are on the market, and therefore your buyer may have more opportunities out there. It's leaning more towards the side of a buyer's market.
Okay.
So here's what happens. People out there don't realize this stuff, right? So they go out there and they start trying to put their house up for sale, and they don't realize, hey, the market is kind of stabilizing a little bit. It's still selling. And here's a number that I thought was interesting. Single family home sales from last year, all right, May 2015 to May 2016. Now, the way that these work is they base it on the numbers from the previous month, right?
Yeah, they compare it last year's numbers of this month to this year's numbers of this month.
Actually, from last month, because we're in June, so it'll give you the statistics up to last month.
Yeah.
So based on that, last year we had 6678 sales, home sales. This year 7343, which means it went up 10%. So here's what I'm thinking. Now the market says there's more inventory, right? But home sales increased. So what's happening out there? Does that just because there's more inventory, does that mean there should be a decrease automatically in the market? Well, according to these stats, it's not. It's actually a scenario where the sales are increasing. But the cool thing about that, and the one thing that people have to know, is that the sales are increasing in a certain submarket, and that submarket is in the $150,000 to $500,000 range.
Got it. Okay, well that's really important.
Yeah, and so if you don't pay attention to that, you may think, hey, all sales are increasing. Yeah, inventory is coming, is going up, but still sales are increasing. It's a great market. But what's not very clear, unless you really look at the numbers, is that it's in that price range where you see the most increase in sales, the 150 to 500,000. And BB, you and I see that. We see it with our own properties.
Yeah, absolutely.
The ones that we're trying to flip, and the ones under 500,000. Have you noticed they get a lot of people looking at them? There's a lot of traffic.
I want to say anything under 300 is just flying off the market.
Exactly. And then you get in our $1 million listings or our $1 million homes that we're flipping, where it's a slower market.
They get less showings.
There's less showings. There's less buyers for them. The buyers are a little pickier. So we can see that even in our own experience. But unless you're in a lot of the marketing or pricing categories, sometimes you don't get a chance to see all this stuff in action. You just hear about it. So I thought that was really interesting. But besides that, guys, it looks like the market, in my opinion, is finally starting to stabilize. So what we had last year was a very, very small, very, very low number in terms of supply. Therefore, the demand was very high. right? Am I boring you guys here? Like I'm teaching you guys like a supply and demand class.
No, but I mean,
supply and demand says
it explains why so many people last year were buying houses at ridiculous prices, and neighborhoods that weren't worth that much were selling at those numbers.
Okay, it's good that you said that, because what I was trying to say is that when the supply is so low and the demand is so high, there is no other option besides increasing in terms of pricing.
Yeah.
Because, and if you remember this, I remember listing a house, and it still happens to this day. But back then, last year it was a lot more prominent in almost all of the listings that we had. If we priced them right, we would get 5 or 10 showings in the first week, right? And we would get at least a couple offers, and sometimes we would get them to go into what's called a highest and best.
Oh, that was like almost every time it was the highest and best.
And so I remember we had one house over in Westbury that we listed, and I mean, we didn't even think that house would get many showings. And before we knew it, there was 26 showings in the first 10 days. And I don't remember how many offers we had, but it had to be at least 5 or 6.
Yeah.
And I remember listing that house for, it was like $289 or something, ends up selling at $326. And of course it didn't appraise, but still the buyer was so adamant about buying it that he brought the extra funds to the table, closed on it, and therefore we set a new comp.
Yeah.
And how many times did that happen last year, if you can remember?
It was, like I said, it was almost every single house.
Over and over and over. So then we start getting into this year, and we start thinking that that's going to continue to happen. And I guarantee you, a lot of other investors thought the same thing. A lot of realtors probably thought the same thing. They were over promising their sellers and saying, yeah, this is going to continue to increase. And now we're seeing really more of a market stabilization. If you look at the average price per home right now, it went from $292 to $290. Now that's not a major difference, but we haven't really seen a lot of decreases in average market price.
Yeah.
In the last couple of years.
Well, what's good though is decreasing the price is one way you can sell a home, right? But there's other ways that you can make a home sell faster, and there's other ways that you can make your house not sell either. And that's what I want to get into in our next segment. So when we come back from our break, we want to jump into what are people doing? Homeowners, investors, realtors that is just making a home not sell, and really they're burning themselves.
If you've ever wondered why your house is not selling, stick around. We're going to give you all of the reasons why, and then we're going to give you some remedies for them.
We'll be back.
Hey everyone, this is David over at White Picket Realty, and I wanted to tell you about my friends over at Plans Express who can save you the headache of running your own permits. These guys are committed to offering a one-stop solution for all your plan and permit needs. They're proudly serving their friends and neighbors in the Houston surrounding areas, and they offer great service at an exceptional value. With dedicated professionals ready to serve, contact them today at 832-675-6217. Hey everyone, this is David with the House Flipping Network, and if you're like a lot of people, you're probably daydreaming right now about getting to fire your boss. Let me tell you about an exciting opportunity for you to do just that. If you've been looking to get into real estate investing or flipping homes, the House Flipping Network provides coaching and consultation services for people looking to grow a real estate investment business. If you're interested in more information, please reach out to me at david@houseflippingnetwork.com.
Hey Houston, this is Alan Hernandez, and I want to remind you guys to visit our friends over at Quest IRA to learn everything there is to learn about investing with your IRA. Now, if you haven't been over there recently, you have to check them out. They have free educational classes, networking opportunities, the ability to tap into $1 billion for your real estate investing deals. These are the guys to know when it comes to learning about this kind of stuff. You want to make sure you visit them and check them out over at www.questira.com. Again, that's questira.com. Hey, Houston real estate agents. This is Alan Hernandez, broker at White Picket Realty. I want to let you know that when you're ready to stop working your real estate career and start building a real estate business, Team WPR is a place to be. Not only do we offer real results, real support, and real branding, but furthermore, 80 to 100% commissions of your hard-earned money going back to you. So make sure you reach out to us. Join at teamwpr.com. Again, that's join, JOIN, at teamwpr.com.
All right, guys, and we're back. And we're going to be talking about, with that market slowdown, we want to talk about things that people are doing that are making their houses not sell. And we see stuff like this all the time. And I think homeowners get a bad rap because they're the homeowner, and they're just like, oh, okay, well, they just made a bunch of bad decisions while they lived in the house, and now that's an ugly house and not selling. But some of these mistakes that we're going to talk about, and really the vast majority of them, a lot of investors are making.
Yeah.
And so it's not just the homeowners, it's investors and homeowners alike that are making these same mistakes.
And, realtors, when they're going out there and sitting down with these motivated sellers, they should know about these things. They should know about these mistakes. They should figure out a way to keep their sellers, if they're going to represent their best interests, to keep them from making these mistakes, because all it does is completely stale the market. And that's why you get this list of expireds, these properties that never sell. So perfect example, I went to a seller presentation a few months ago. Brandon, I don't know if you remember, Uberu was his name. And I go out there, I sit down with him, give him my spiel, and my closing rate is really good. It's pretty darn good. I don't get a chance to go out to a lot of seller appointments.
You give yourself an A++ on your closing rate?
I have a good closing rate. Let's just say if I get a chance to go to a seller appointment, I expect to close it. I'm certain that I'm always going to get the deal.
I believe that. You could sell a ketchup popsicle to a woman in white gloves. So I do believe that.
So I get there, and he's real hesitant about giving me the listing, which I'm okay. I can tell that based on his personality. He's a person that wants to look at all the paperwork and whatnot. So I leave it behind and I follow up. And so continuously follow up. And then finally he's like, well, I ended up going with my friend who's a realtor, and she gave me this really awesome deal. She only charged me $200 or whatever to list my house. And so unless you can match it, I'm going to have to go that route. All right. And so I was like, all right, fine, no big deal. We'll continue to follow up with you. And if things change down the road, let us know. I look up that listing 60 days later, right? So we do a 30-day update with them. Hey, how's everything going? Hope things are going well. Well, please call us if things aren't. 60 days, I actually do a market update. So I'll go in there and I'll look at what's happening with that house, because I want to figure out if this other realtor is actually going to sell it.
Yeah, if she's going to perform.
I look through the pictures, right?
Okay.
And the pictures tell the entire story on this house. I kid you not. It was incredible that one, the seller would allow them, and two, that as an agent that is supposed to be a professional, that she would post them. So just to give you an example of one, the main picture that she was showing was of the master bedroom, which was nice. It had high ceilings, windows in the back. But the bed unmade, there's stuff everywhere, these little knickknacks and stuff. And I'm like, well, couldn't she have advised him to at least clean the place, Yeah,
absolutely, before she puts it on the market.
So the whole house shows like that. The whole entire house. There's dishes in the kitchen. There's just stuff laying around.
They left their dirty dishes for the listing.
And she's taking the pictures, and the pictures are awfully dark. You can hardly see things. And
were they cell phone pictures?
Oh, this is where it gets the best. She goes into the restroom, right? And in one of the pictures, you can see that she's taking the picture with her iPhone or whatnot. And she's trying to be artsy with it. So she's doing this thing.
Oh, she did a little slant.
Yeah. She did the artsy slant. Right? There should be a name for that.
Oh my goodness.
How many realtors out there go out there and play photographer and do the artsy slant?
I want to say I look at least one listing per day.
Yeah.
Where a realtor has decided that they're going to do the artsy slant.
Yeah. And they're feeling really artsy that day. They've never taken a professional picture in their life, and that day they feel like they're going to be really artsy, and they're going to go out there and they're going to take the best picture ever, right?
Yeah.
And they do this thing, and it's a really crooked picture. You can't see a thing, but this lady on top of that takes it of the mirror in the bathroom, therefore shoots herself in the picture. So you can see her in the picture, dressed, of course, horribly, you know what I mean? And she's like in jean shorts and a big loose shirt, and she's doing this thing, taking the picture. And instead of seeing the bathroom, which is, a selling point of the house,
she's the main focus.
All you can see is her, And so I found that pretty funny, and I started compiling a list of just things that keep houses from selling.
Well, I want to let's start with that one, because I see that one just way too often. When you think about it, so a house is a major investment, right? People are out there spending hundreds of thousands of dollars to purchase one, yet the marketing for it, which is the pictures, essentially, that's what people are going to see. People are unwilling to spend even $75 to have a real photographer go out there and give you edited pictures. That doesn't make sense to me. What is the reasoning behind? Is that $75 really going to be worth the fact that many people are going to look at your listing and say, nope, next one?
That's right.
Yeah, I think it's horrible.
People don't realize that. People don't realize how important that is because they don't understand how the internet works nowadays. They don't understand the actual home buying process, right? So when you're a home buyer and you're out there looking for a house, you don't just go out there and drive the neighborhood. You don't just, hey, I'm going to go, drive around and see what houses have signs in front of them. People don't do that anymore.
Yeah, and I'm just curious, anyone who's listening, does anyone remember what it was like before the internet? Because the internet's changed the way people buy houses.
Yep.
Before the internet, there was this massive orange book that you would get that had all of the active listings in it.
Yeah.
And you'd have to go through that book and actually look through them one by one.
Yeah, and then you'd have to key map them.
That's why there's a key map.
That's why the original key map exists. Some people still have a key map, believe it or not. Some people still carry them. I've seen those still around.
My goodness.
So what would happen is you would look through that book and you'd find a couple of houses that maybe you'd like and you'd key map them.
Yeah.
And then you'd make a list. You'd kind of draw them in your little key map, and then you'd go out there and drive them. And if you liked any of them, or your realtor would actually drive you. So those were back in the days where you would actually hop in your realtor's car, And
your realtor would drive you around.
Your realtor would put you in her like little Lexus, the little Lexus SUV. That's the standard realtor car. If you're a realtor, you have a Lexus SUV, more than likely. There's like a 90% chance that you drive one of those. All right. And so you'd get in the car and they would play like a movie for your kids or whatever, and then they drive you to those houses on the key map.
Yeah.
And so based on that, then you would make offers. Imagine how long it took to sell houses back then.
I can't even believe that used to be what it was like.
Yeah.
I mean, the internet has revolutionized it. Nowadays, I know that when I represent a buyer sometimes, I don't even get a chance to give them a list.
Yeah.
They come to me with a list of
They
houses.
usually already have a list.
They've seen. These are the ones I saw in HAR that I like the pictures of.
Yep.
And they're the ones that I want to go visit.
Yep.
So that's the first and last impression on so many buyers.
All they're doing is they're sitting on HAR and they're doing this thing. Click, 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 click. And as soon as they see a picture they like, they'll open it up. And then you have 5 seconds of their attention. They're going to click through your first 5 pictures. They're literally clicking through the first 5. And if you keep their attention after that, then they will go to read your actual listing and see if they want to set up an appointment.
Yeah, and so that's a good point you make, because it's not only that there's bad pictures, because there are some realtors who go and they send a professional photographer, and the photographer goes and he takes his 32 pictures, right? But what I see too often is realtors who include too many pictures or pictures that don't add value to the listing. So in other words, sometimes I'll see somebody has a horrible backyard.
Yeah.
Granted, it's a professional picture, but the backyard doesn't add anything to the house.
Yeah.
Yet there's 4 pictures of the backyard on the listing. It doesn't make any sense. Doesn't help.
My favorite is when they post pictures of the pets. Have you seen one of those? I saw a listing one time where I think the agent actually asked the dog to be in every picture.
Oh my!
Like the picture was posing in all of the.
Wait, I saw that recently. There was a listing where they had the same dog in every picture.
No, I was going to mention another one. It's an agent who couldn't, I heard about this recently on the radio. It's an agent who couldn't get much traction on her listing. So she took photos, and in each one, she was wearing a panda suit in the photo. And it actually started getting a whole lot of traction.
It went viral. I mean,
yeah, it went viral.
Okay, see, stuff like that is hilarious. I think if we wore a panda suit in all of our listings, I think all of our houses would sell immediately. In fact, I think we should potentially try that. But in this specific one, she took a picture of the dog in each house, and then at the bottom she would put dog not included. Dog not
Just
included.
To be clear, my dog is not included with the property. That's funny.
It's funny because when sometimes I talk to some of these people, sellers or realtors alike, and even investors, and I'm like, how much does it actually cost you to send a photographer? And they know the price. Most people are like, well, I don't know, like $100. But actually, you can get it cheaper. We pay a little more just because we have a specific preference on who we want to send out. But you can get photographers out for as low as, like you said, about $75.
Yeah, I even got a coupon the other day in my email, $50 to go take professional pictures. There's so many people out there who want to be a real estate photographer that they're driving the price down.
Yep.
And so there's just no excuse to go out and take iPhone pictures.
Well, you know what happens is realtors, I'm going to include myself in that. We're cheap, you know. But the problem there is that some people are so cheap they work against themselves. They think that they're going to save or they're going to make more money by going out there and taking the pictures themselves and uploading it themselves, maybe even spending time cleaning them up and making them look nicer themselves. But what they don't realize is that's not an income producing activity, because you could have paid someone $50 to $100 to do it for you. Correct. And spent more time doing things that will bring you income, like meeting with sellers or meeting with buyers.
Absolutely.
So let's talk about some of the other things that people have messed up on.
Well, earlier you guys mentioned the lady who took a picture with her dog in every room. And this one applies, I think, more to homeowners and investors because they live in the property. But one of the things that I've noticed is I've taken people to houses that they look beautiful in the pictures. I mean, they are sharp, amazing houses. But as soon as you walk in, you just get this odor.
Yeah, it hits you like a brick.
Oh, yeah, it's strong. And I mean, even if you own a dog, when you walk into a house with carpet where there's been dogs and it hasn't been shampooed, it just smells awful.
Yeah.
And that turns buyers off immediately.
People don't realize that. You know what happens is they get used to the smell. So
that's true.
So they can't smell it anymore. Stink. Yeah, you get used to your own stink. That's right. So you can't. It's just like when you can't smell yourself. You know, you're just used to it. Like if you stink, you cannot smell yourself. There's no way that you can actually smell yourself. Your nose just gets used to it. I think that's the same thing that happens to sellers. Is all right. They love their dog. Their dog lives there, and yeah, their house is on the market. And they don't realize that when people are walking in, it's really turning them off to smell this wet dog type smell.
Oh yeah, it's awful.
And then sometimes they'll hide the dog in like the kennel and the dog's like growling at you. That makes it worse, in my opinion.
Oh, when the dogs are present, it's even harder. I mean, I want to say those houses have to take longer to sell, just because it's so hard to show, and the smell is unbearable.
Exactly.
And going along with that, with the smell, and this one applies to investors and homeowners, is the cleanliness of the home.
Yeah.
And
well, just like that house I talked about. Why couldn't she ask the seller to clean the house up?
Yeah.
Take all of the personals out. Wash the dishes and make your bed, which you're supposed to do anyway every day, before you go out there and take pictures and list it. Yeah. And this wasn't an as-is listing. I get it. Sometimes you'll throw an as-is listing up, say, hey, just give me your best cash offer and call it a day. Here's a few snapshots just so you can get an idea. But this was a full price, retail listing. And yeah, cleanliness would have been something nice that she could have requested from the homeowner, and the homeowner should have probably known that. He should have been advised to do it, but he should have also had some I don't know, some just natural feeling towards, hey, I got to clean my house before it shows.
But common sense is not so common, because on the other side of it, I know there's probably investors listening right now going, wow, I don't have to worry about that. I don't live in a house. There's no dishes. There's no wet towels or anything around the property. But one thing that I notice on investors' homes, you got buckets of Home Depot filled with mortar in the backyard.
Yeah.
Sometimes you've got
debris everywhere.
Yeah, construction debris all over the place. When you're walking the house, you go into the bathrooms and everything still has the stickers on them and the tags on them, and the windows still have your big old. I get it. You're proud of the brand of the window, but that's not a selling feature. Like, take those stickers off. That stuff looks horrible.
Yeah, I've been to a lot of investors' homes, and a lot of times I get called out for these because of that, because it's like, hey, why is this one not selling?
Yeah.
And in many cases, it's the smallest little details that they leave out. Like, for example, cleaning, just cleaning the place. And you would think that would be a very, very inexpensive thing for them to do. I actually don't know what it costs to clean a full house nowadays, but the last time I paid someone, it was like $100, $100 to $300 after the repairs.
Yeah, it's about $250 to $350 depending on the size of the house.
For a full cleanup, right?
Yeah,
and they're taking care of the windows and everything in case there's overspray and all that. So we're going to continue talking about what is keeping homes from selling. We got a really cool list, and then we're going to give you some fixes to those. We're going to make sure that you guys understand the things that you should be doing so that your house will sell.
We'll be back.
Hey Hey everyone, this is David over at White Picket Realty, and I wanted to tell you about my friends over at Plans Express who can save you the headache of running your own permits. These guys are committed to offering a one-stop solution for all your plan and permit needs. They're proudly serving their friends and neighbors in the Houston surrounding areas, and they offer great service at an exceptional value. With dedicated professionals ready to serve, contact them today at 832-675-6217. Hey everyone, this is David with the House Flipping Network, and if you're like a lot of people, you're probably daydreaming right now about getting to fire your boss. Let me tell you about an exciting opportunity for you to do just that. If you've been looking to get into real estate investing or flipping homes, the House Flipping Network provides coaching and consultation services for people looking to grow a real estate investment business. If you're interested in more information, please reach out to me at david@houseflippingnetwork.com.
Hey Houston, this is Alan Hernandez, and I want to remind you guys to visit our friends over at Quest IRA to learn everything there is to learn about investing with your IRA. Now, if you haven't been over there recently, you have to check them out. They have free educational classes, networking opportunities, the ability to tap into $1 billion for your real estate investing deals. These are the guys to know when it comes to learning about this kind of stuff. You want to make sure you visit them and check them out over at www.questira.com. Again, that's questira.com. Hey, Houston real estate agents. This is Alan Hernandez, broker at White Picket Realty. I want to let you know that when you're ready to stop working your real estate career and start building a real estate business, Team WPR is a place to be. Not only do we offer real results, real support, and real branding, but furthermore, 80 to 100% commissions of your hard-earned money going back to you. So make sure you reach out to us. Join at teamwpr.com. Again, that's join, JOIN, at teamwpr.com.
And we're back. We're talking about things that keep houses from selling, and I think we're going to talk about a few more and then give people a couple of remedies because people need to know how to fix those things.
Yeah, so it's crazy because we talked about bad pictures, and that's really up there on the top of our list. You should definitely be focused on having good pictures at all times,
and including not only them being professional, but including the most important pictures on there.
Yeah, maybe make sure that my volume is turned up. I can't hear myself for some reason. One of the things that we talked about is so bad pictures. We talked about bad odors in the house. That's including pet odor or cooking odor. If you're frying fish the same day as your showings, you may want to let your realtor know not to show it for a day or two while you get it cleaned out. We also talked about cleanliness of the house. That's really, really important. If you're an investor, you should have someone going out to the house at least once every 3 weeks or so, just to dust everything out. Same thing if you're a homeowner. I mean, I remember living in my house while it was selling a few years back, and going from having someone come over, once a week to almost twice a week, just to make sure that the house was spotless.
Yeah, and I think the most important thing for investors is when they're hiring their cleaning crew, they need to be certain that it's a post-construction cleaning crew. It's not just your regular Molly-Maid type cleaning crew. This is people who know, okay, I got to remove stickers, I've got to pick up debris, I've got to get paint off of tile if there's any paint or anything, overspray, things like that. Mm-hmm. That's really important. And those things, it's the small details, man. They matter.
They do matter a lot. The other thing that we want to talk about is accessibility. And this is for anyone out there. I think the reason why most FSBOs don't sell is not just because they don't have enough traffic because they're not listed on MLS. It's actually a combination between that and having really poor accessibility to the home. If you've ever tried...
And what do you mean by accessibility?
Well, like, for example, most FSBOs that you call and you're like, hey, when's a good time for me to walk the house with you? It's always like, well, I'm out of town. Yeah. I'll be there next week. Or oh, I work, all day. I can meet you at 8 p.m. tonight, So it's impossible for you to ever see the house itself and talk to them.
That's true. That happens with the vast majority of FSBOs I call.
Yeah.
Oh, when can I take a look at the property? Well, I'm not available at all this week, but maybe.
Yeah. What happened last week when you and I were going to look at a house and we called in and so these people were smart. They actually had a showing service set up, but then we call in and the showing service is like, no, you can't look at it. It'll be another 2 weeks before you can look at it.
Yeah.
So
and this is a house that's been on the market for a long time. And when that happened, I said, well, there you go.
that explains it.
No one's going to buy a house that they can't get inside of to look at.
If you can't let people inside to look at your house, within the day or maybe the next day, then you're messing up because people aren't waiting around.
Yeah, and I almost feel like even the next day is not good enough, because I get a lot of calls, especially on the weekend, when realtors are going around showing houses where your house may not have been on their original list, but as they're driving around, they decide they want to go look at it. And if they can't get into it, that's it. There goes your window. They're not going to come back to it.
That's right. Because they didn't make it on the list originally anyway.
Yeah.
So yeah, you got to be able to show it to them right then and there. The last thing I want to cover before we give everyone some remedies to this is paint colors. I want to bring up a story. I don't know if you remember this one.
Oh, I love this story.
I had an investor a year or so back who decided.
This is probably close to 3 years ago now.
Okay.
Yeah.
So he hires us to help him, do everything, to help him, figure out how to go through the entire investment process. So he buys this house at the auction and he starts renovating it. And
he's from California. And so when he comes in, because we're doing the loan for him, and so we have him bring in his portfolio, and he brings in his really nice portfolio, multiple houses in it. The houses look really good. It looks like the guy has it together.
Yeah.
He knows what he's doing.
So he gets a hard money loan from us, and we're helping him through the entire investment process. And in one of those calls that we get, he calls me and he's like, "Hey, I want you to come see the house. I just painted it." And I'm like, "All right, great. You went with a neutral color, right?" Yeah. I went with what's gonna sell. and so we get over there and I'm like, what's going on here, man? The house is bright canary yellow, and not like flat paint, not the kind that just absorbs the light, the kind that shines the light back at you. It's just bright as can be, the high gloss bright yellow paint. And he goes, and I'm like, "Hey man, I think there's a big problem here. That's not a neutral color, and I don't think you're going to be able to sell that way." And he goes, "What are you talking about, man? Haven't you heard the saying? The yellow house always sells." And so Vivi and I are looking at each other.
Where does that saying even come from?
We still can't figure out where he got that saying from, or how, or where, or maybe he just made it up. But yeah, long story short, 6 months later, of course, the house never sold, and everyone that walks through the house, the one thing that they cannot get past is a horrible canary yellow color. That
was on almost every single comment that we got was, "House is pretty nice. I really wish that the seller would have chosen a better color."
Yeah. And what's crazy is paint is cheap, relatively cheap. And now
compared to other repairs, yeah.
Now, and compared to what it was a couple of years ago, now it's increased a little bit, but it's still relatively cheap compared to everything else. And it gives you the best return on investment versus anything else that you do. So if you're a smart homeowner or a smart realtor or a smart investor, you're always going to paint. You're always going to paint.
Oh, I agree with you completely. Painting a house just makes it feel fresh. It makes it feel new again. It does so many things for it if you paint it an appropriate color.
I love it when I get deals from wholesalers in my email, and they're like, "Oh, it only needs $5,000 worth of repairs." And you look at the list, and it's like foundation, plumbing, and new bathrooms and paint. And you're like, "Dude, paint $5,000 is just going to cover the paint. What are you thinking, man?" But this guy had that bad experience, and so we've always stuck to neutral colors, but more importantly, we've always had a designer pick those out for us. And of course, we do a lot of investments and whatnot, but when we're meeting with sellers and we're helping them list a house, it's the same thing. It's, if their house is canary yellow, the best advice you can give them is to paint it, and it's either that or they're going to take a huge hit in terms of value or marketability.
What's a good way? So talking about some of the remedies here, what's a good way for a homeowner or even an investor, because investors make poor choices too, to keep themselves from making a bad decision? So they go out, and I know I've gone paint shopping before. I'm not a designer. It's just not in my blood. It's really difficult to pick paint colors. What can I do to not pick bad paint colors?
The best thing you can do is go on apps like house.com,
Okay.
houzz.com, and then look through there and figure out what houses you like, you know. And this is pretty much the same thing that your designer would do. If you hire a designer, she's looking for other houses that are of similar style, and maybe even looking through previous listings that have sold, sold well. And she's looking through there, and they're gonna make a color palette to say, okay, these are the most popular colors, this is what's selling, and this is what I recommend. That's generally what a designer would do for you.
And can you repeat that website for everyone?
So the website is houzz.com, houzz.com. And if you don't have access, if you don't have that on your phone, you really should. If you're in the real estate market, that's one of those things that should be on everyone's phone.
Yeah.
I mean, that's realtor, rehabber, designer, I don't care what you are, you should have access to that, and you should be able to look through there every once in a while. And it's actually kind of fun if you're a house nerd like I am. It's actually kind of fun. I catch myself on there every once in a while, just looking through pictures of really awesome homes. And that's kind of where I pick up inspiration on like.
And how does it work on that app? So let's say I see a house and I really like the paint colors. How do I know what they are?
That's what's cool about it. You can actually click on the picture and it'll tell you what colors there are.
Oh, wow, that's pretty awesome.
You can ask the person that posted the picture and they'll tell you.
Yeah.
So most of the time when we're going into a new style home, or let's say it's a new neighborhood or something like that, that's where we can find more ideas. That's where you can go in there and say, okay, these are the colors that work for this area or this type of house or whatnot.
And this is free.
It's absolutely free.
Okay, so there's no excuse, even for those people out there that don't want to hire a designer.
Yeah.
There's just no excuse to pick out your own colors.
You know, what happens is most people think designers are very expensive, and some really are. Some designers can be very, very expensive. I've met with designers who will actually want up to 10% of the total equity of the home when they're dealing with an investor. And so, you know, in that case, I can't do business with them because I'm not giving up 10% of the equity of my home unless you're investing in it with me. You know, so but there are people out there like there are people out there who are going to be just a couple thousand on most big rehab projects, and they're going to pick out colors for you, they're going to pick out tile for you, they're going to pick out fixtures, they're going to pick out all the little tedious stuff that most people hate going to pick out. Now that we're talking about renovations and stuff.
Yeah, absolutely.
But for homeowners, it's pretty simple. Yeah, if you can literally look on that website. You can also Sherwin-Williams has some really, really cool setups now online, and there's an app on Sherwin-Williams that will actually let you take a picture of your house, and then you can cover it with different colors and see what it'll look like.
Oh, so you can get an idea of how it's going to feel before you even do it.
Yeah, it's really, really neat because any picture that you take, you can go on there and tell it, well, I want it to be painted with this color, and then it'll show you the before and after. So it's pretty cool, and that's also free. That's on Sherwin-Williams.com. It's a free app. It's a free website. You can go on there and do that kind of stuff with, and you can not paint your house canary yellow.
Yeah, and going back to the house app, I think it's a really good remedy for a lot of things we talked about, especially like if you're unsure of how to decorate your house. There's a lot of good pictures on there of people who have their houses decorated really nice, and it can give you good ideas. I know that's one thing I struggle with tremendously, and I'm sure a lot of homeowners do is, how do I decorate my house?
I'm a big fan of hiring professionals for that kind of stuff. I really am. I've always had a staging company that will come out and stage the houses for me. And every once in a while, I'll run into a motivated seller, and it's a deal that's in good shape and doesn't really need to be sold as is. And a lot of times it's just a matter of paying a staging company a couple $100, and they'll come out and they'll make it look good. They'll hang pictures on the wall. They'll do all sorts of really nice stuff. And that helps the house sell too. So hopefully some of these little quick tips have helped you guys. If you guys haven't thought about some of these things, feel free to reach out to us. We have some awesome ideas on how to help you sell your homes, whether you're a homeowner, a listing agent, an investor.
Yeah, and if you have a really funny thing that you've seen in a house or a picture, make sure and share it with us. We'll bring it live on the air.
We want to see you guys on here. Make sure you reach out to us. You can text us at 24587.
24587. Make sure you put RR first and then your comments. 24587, and we'll be back after this break.
Hey everyone, this is David over at White Picket Realty, and I wanted to tell you about my friends over at Plans Express who can save you the headache of running your own permits. These guys are committed to offering a one-stop solution for all your plan and permit needs. They're proudly serving their friends and neighbors in the Houston surrounding areas, and they offer great service at an exceptional value. With dedicated professionals ready to serve, Contact them today at 832-675-6217. Hey everyone, this is David with the House Flipping Network. And if you're like a lot of people, you're probably daydreaming right now about getting to fire your boss. Let me tell you about an exciting opportunity for you to do just that. If you've been looking to get into real estate investing or flipping homes, the House Flipping Network provides coaching and consultation services for people looking to grow a real estate investment business. If you're interested in more information, please reach out to me at david@houseflippingnetwork.com.
Hey Houston, this is Alan Hernandez, and I want to remind you guys to visit our friends over at Quest IRA to learn everything there is to learn about investing with your IRA. Now, if you haven't been over there recently, you have to check them out. They have free educational classes, networking opportunities, the ability to tap into $1 billion for your real estate investing deals. These are the guys to know when it comes to learning about this kind of stuff. You want to make sure you visit them and check them out over at www.questira.com. Again, that's questira.com. Hey Houston real estate agents, this is Alan Hernandez, broker at White Picket Realty. I want to let you know that when you're ready to stop working your real estate career and start building a real estate business, Team WPR is a place to be. Not only do we offer real results, real support, and real branding, but furthermore, 80 to 100% commissions of your hard-earned money going back to you. So make sure you reach out to us. Join at teamwpr.com. Again, that's join, Join, at teamwpr.com.
And we are back. Guys, it's our last segment.
I can't believe how fast it's gone by.
I always get a little teardrop in my eye.
You get a little sentimental, start crying like LeBron.
I mean, it's just we have such a good time here.
Man, we do. It's always fun. I what stinks is that I can't get everything that I want to talk about in one show. I still have at least 5 or 6 things, maybe more, on things that people should stop doing that will keep them from selling, and of course remedies for them. So unfortunately, we won't get a chance to cover all of them, but we do want to talk about, we do want to play a little game at least today, right? We want to keep it light. So we saw a video here recently on YouTube or Facebook, one of those two, and we thought it was pretty funny. So we want to play a game called Is It Racist?
Yeah, so let me give everyone a little bit of a backstory. So it's just not a random clip I'm playing. So this is Emily Austen. She's a reporter with Fox Sports, or was a reporter with Fox Sports, and she went on a podcast and she was caught saying some of these comments. So this first one is the co-host speaking to her.
All right, take a look at this, guys. Let me know what you think.
0.5 GPA. She's basically wrote. She sucked her own dick in this tweet. It's like 4.5 GPA. I have great legs. I'm hot, and oh by the way, I'm undocumented, an illegal alien. People.
So that was the beginning of the clip. So they're just reaming on this poor girl who was about
she's a senior in college.
Correct.
Is that right?
High school.
I'm sorry. She's got a 4.5 GPA, and she decides to tell the world that she's an undocumented immigrant. Is that what happens?
That's exactly what happens. She comes out and she says that to the world, and then obviously there's going to be some reaction.
Sure.
And granted, whatever. But this is a comment that Emily Austen made. She's the reporter for Fox. And this is the game that we're going to play today, is a little game of Is It Racist?
All right, so you guys that are watching us, we want to know what your thoughts are on this video. You guys let us know what you think. Is it or is it not racist? Here we go.
Here we go.
Play it.
That's fine. You can hate me for the Bieber fake, but I was right on that one.
No, I did agree with you that I think that it would be a bouncer or somebody that you may have known, but with the whole girl, I didn't even know Mexicans were that smart.
Say what?
She didn't even know Mexicans were smart.
How can a Mexican have a 4.5 GPA?
They're supposed to be cutting lawns or something.
So the question is it racist? Is what she said racist, or is it just insensitive? How would you classify it?
Oh man, the thing about what she's saying is that it's completely ignorant, and she doesn't realize how ignorant she sounds by saying, I didn't realize Mexicans were smart. So are all Mexicans just supposed to be very hardworking and stupid, or is that how it's supposed to work? and then she says something else that kind of adds to that. Do you have that cute or no?
Yeah, granted, in her defense, right after she says that, and I chopped it out because it's not fun if I play that part, but she does say, oh my gosh, I wish I hadn't said that.
So
But
she knows she
then-
said something really stupid.
But then she proceeds to say the following.
Let's hear it.
Mean it like that, but you see, like, I mean, you guys know that the Chinese guy is always the smartest guy in math.
So if you can hear what she said, she's apologizing for saying Mexicans aren't that smart.
Yeah.
But she's now going into the Chinese and saying that they're
Yeah.
the smartest guys in the
So,
match.
so now she's totally crushed two cultures that are probably watching her show and will never watch her again, right? So you know, the funny thing about what she says, you know, is that in my class, and I graduated towards the top of my class, the valedictorian was Asian. You know, that's just coincidental.
Granted, she's just going through stereotypes, but
Yeah.
it's the way that she says them.
Yeah, it's you would think that someone who is speaking publicly, who is with Fox News, you said?
Yeah, she was with Fox Sports.
Now, is she still there?
No, she has since been fired from Fox Sports. She will no longer be working with them. Apparently, when they played the game, Is It Racist? They determined, yes, that was incredibly racist.
And they fired her. Well, good for you, Emily Austen. Thank you for calling us all stupid. And when I say us, I mean all Mexicans. I'm one of the I guess the other kind of Mexican. I guess I'm hardworking and not so
And I
stupid.
think she actually says that in the video. She goes on to say, "Oh, I'm sorry, Mexicans are very hardworking people," and stuff like that. Like, that's
Thank
what-
you. Appreciate that. Appreciate you
Thanks.
recovering that. And I will let all my Asian friends know what you feel about them as well. Thank you very much for that. You know, it's kind of crazy because you figure that in today's age, we would be past that kind of
I
stuff.
know
We're
we're
not.
all about PC, political correctness, not insulting anyone. And then you have someone who's on a major network coming out and saying something like this. It just blows my mind. It really does.
Yeah, it really brings out the true light, the light between, you know, what people are really thinking sometimes, you know, and these stereotypes really do exist, whether we want to ignore them or not. They're out there, they're still happening. And this is how some people actually think, you know, and it's baffling, man. We have to find ways to continually overcome this kind of stuff. And I think, you know, what she did was totally insensitive. It shows her ignorance, and I'm kind of glad that she got relief from her post, man. I mean, I don't think someone like that should be on TV.
So final verdict. Is it racist?
I'm gonna go with yes.
Extremely racist.
Extremely racist.
We want to hear your comments if you're on Facebook.
If you're watching
whether you
this,
think it was racist
let
or
us know
not
what
racist.
you think about that video, and thank you for joining us on this game. Let's talk about some of the events that we have coming up. We
Yeah,
have some
absolutely.
stuff, some cool stuff happening.
Yeah, there's a lot happening this week. So one, you mentioned it a little bit earlier, but tonight is the soccer game. USA versus Argentina. Clint Dempsey versus Lionel Messi.
What a great match.
I'm keeping my fingers crossed for this one and hoping that the U.S.
It's not a
doesn't get
Mexico
embarrassed.
shaming.
Oh my God.
Oh man!
Well, why you got to bring up Mexico?
If you
If
saw
the players from Mexico were
game,
smarter,
they would've won.
They would've won.
So that game is tonight. I believe it's at Reliant at 8 p.m.
Yes.
Now, I've got a special little something for everyone who's listening. Apparently, I got an email because we have about 15 accounts with Reliant Energy. And they said that all Reliant customers are invited for a free tailgate. There's going to be free food, drinks, live entertainment.
Did you guys
It's
hear
in
the magic word? Free?
Yeah, free. It's in a blue parking lot. They're going to have a huge big screen TV set up everywhere.
Now, how are they going to know if you're a Reliant customer? Can you just walk them and be like, "Hey, I
I
don't think
think they're even going to care. I think they're just kind of inviting the world.
It's just a free event. You can go out there, you can hang out, you can watch the game, eat, drink,
and just have a good time.
That's
Thanks to
awesome.
Reliant.
Hopefully, I don't know, maybe the U.S. will pull it off.
Yeah,
I know they're a huge underdog, but it is the
man,
U.S.
that would be really cool if we could see that. Now, we're supposed to be there, but instead we're going to be at somewhere else.
Yeah, so for people who just want to get out and go to more networking events, increase their business, there's an event tonight, Real Acquisitions. It's a data company here in Houston that provides data about homeowners to investors and people looking to buy houses.
some of you guys that are out there looking for motivated sellers, this is a great company for you guys to look into. They're going to give you access to a lot of people who are behind on taxes. There's a lot of other things that they provide, but most importantly, that's one source for you to go in there and find motivated sellers. And tonight they're having an event, and yours truly is going to be part of the panel. And we're going to be talking about subject to transactions. And if you made it to our Realtors Retire Rich event last week, you would have learned about some of the different strategies that realtors and investors alike are using to create massive, massive wealth in their businesses. And one of those has to do with buying properties subject to the existing mortgage. And now you guys have heard us talk about this a lot. You've actually heard attorneys sit here and tell us how legal it is and how people are doing it and how people are making money doing it. Tonight we go through case studies. And where's the actual case study at, David?
It's going to be at the 4 Points by Sheraton at Greenway Plaza. The address is 2828 Southwest Freeway, and that's from 7 to 9:45 tonight. Like you mentioned, you're going to be featured on the case study for subject to and Alex Cedillo of Flip Nation and
AKA Big Swole. What's up, Big Swole? If you're watching, I'll see you tonight, buddy. And also AG.
Yes, sir.
That's CEO of Real Acquisitions, and I know he's also a very active investor. So you guys are going to get some really good access to people that are doing this full time, creating wealth, and we're going to show you how to do it.
Yeah, and for those of you who feel like you might miss a game, I will let you know that there is a really nice bar at this hotel. They have several TVs, and people hang out there before and after the event.
Yeah.
So I'm sure that if you're looking to get out there and get some networking, but don't want to miss the whole game, you'll get a chance to catch some of it there.
Perfect. Yeah. So we want to make sure that that's covered. We want to make sure that you guys are out there watching us and or coming to these events and learning about these things that most companies just can't teach. There's other cool events happening, and so you guys know where to get this information from. It's really, really simple. Eventbrite is one of the best places for you guys to find good real estate networking events.
And why is it important to go to events?
Well, here's the thing. What people don't realize in this industry is about 90% of your business is going to come through referrals, and it's going to come through people that you know. It's going to come through people that know you, that trust you, and a lot of that has to do with you going to events and creating mutually beneficial relationships. Some of the best relationships that I've created over the last 10 years have come literally from going to a random event. Most of them are free. They offer you free food, free drinks, and you just go there.
Turn that down.
Yeah, you can't turn it down. You can just go there and chit chat. Tomorrow, our friend Blake Yarborough from Capital Concepts hosts an event called Real Estate Speed Networking Mixer.
Correct.
It's pretty neat. So how does it work? You go there and you talk to different people?
Yeah, so they have different tables with different experts, and you sit down and talk, and they ring a bell, and you go to the next table. And really, it's just an event to get out and meet people that are doing different things in the industry. I've been out to the event. They've moved it to a new location.
Yeah, new location.
It's in
LaGrange
in Montrose now.
Nice.
That place is awesome, by the way. So I highly recommend going to that event. What other events do we have?
Well, we have the Real Estate Speed Networking Mixer. There's also a hard breakfast for people that want to go out to the Kingwood Country Club. It's a Lake Houston Realtor networking event. You guys can go out there and meet other realtors, figure out how you guys can exchange business, bring your buyers or your sellers, put that together. And then in August, I might as well start telling you guys about this now. August 9th, don't forget, White Picket Realty's Happy Hour. So you guys start registering for that. If you guys haven't, go ahead and go on eventbrite.com, type White Picket. You'll find us. You'll find some other cool stuff about us, and register for our event. What else do we have going on besides that?
We got the show on Friday, so don't miss out on the show.
Yep.
And I think today we had a great show.
We had a great show today. Are you going to grade yourself today?
Yeah, I'll give myself a B today. I'll give myself a B for BB.
Isn't it funny that he always gives himself a B for BB? I mean, are these grades in real? Should we be grading each other? Is that how the grades
work? That's no fun. I just want to grade myself.
Wouldn't it be nice if you could do that in school? I'm gonna give myself a man. I don't need you, teacher. So all right, man. Well, this has been awesome, man. I've had a great time hanging out with you guys today. Thank you guys very much for joining us live on the air, on Facebook, on YouTube. Let your friends know about our show. Let us know if you guys want to talk about anything in the next few shows, because hey, we're open. We're an open book. We want to give you guys whatever it's going to take to help your businesses grow. We appreciate you guys, and we'll see you guys pretty soon.
See you guys on Friday.
This has been the Realty Ruckus. Make sure and join us every Tuesday and Friday for new episodes. Find us on YouTube and Facebook for replays of previous episodes. And as always, keep elevating yourself and keep up your ruckus. Thanks for listening. Realty Ruckus has been brought to you by Smart Pig Media Productions.